I woke up and I was staring into Erik's bare chest. Oh my god. I blushed, but looked up to see Erik still sleeping. His sleeping face made me giggle softly, but the reality of the situation made my heart flutter. I couldn't believe it. I was lying next to a man I had grown to love with all of my heart. His warm embrace made me feel safe, and as the tender moment we just shared replayed in my head, I couldn't help but smile and snuggle into his chest further. Unconsciously, he held me tighter to his body, giving me more of his warmth. I didn't want to move, but then my core suddenly tightened and made me sit up without waking the man next to me. I felt my legs move and bring me to the balcony window, where I opened the glass and stepped out onto the patio. I stared wide out at Diana, who sat cross-legged on the railing of my balcony with her glowing red-eyed stare upon me. I opened my mouth to object, but Diana stopped me.
Before you get all huffy, I didn't come here to take your precious man away. By the way, how was it exactly? Demons are the best lovers, after all.
I glared.
What do you want, Diana?
Well, I just wanted to see how you truly feel. You know, without him around to influence you.
What are you talking about?
I'm giving you an opportunity to come clean about these feelings of yours, and to give you your salvation.
What was Diana up to? This was beyond crazy. Nothing she had done made sense. Why was I still alive at this rate?
What's keeping you from just killing me and taking them?
You are not worth my time.
Right, that's why you've wasted like 2 days here with me, okay.
Not worth your time? What, are you afraid something might happen?
No, that's not it at all.
All at once, I felt my body being lifted into the air and moved over past the railings, leaving me with nothing but the ground below to threaten me with a collision death.
Oh, trust me, dear. I'm not afraid to kill you. I can drop you right now and leave your body to rot until the morning, when the boys would find you.
That's fucked up.
I wanted to speak, but the thought of her letting go and letting me fall to my death scared my voice into silence. Diana then chuckled and wheeled my body back to the balcony, setting me down gently.
Alas, if I kill you, then the boys would never come with me willingly back to the demon world, and then I'd have to chase them all around the world, or kill them and drag them back. But then their father wouldn't be happy, and blah blah blah. Too much work.
Diana seemed very business-oriented, as if the boys were cargo more than men. It irked me, but then she smiled.
I'm giving you one chance to denounce your love for the demon in your bed, and let me take him and the other boys back to the demon world.
And why, may I ask, would I do that?
There are so many reasons why, actually. There's the reason that he's a demon and you're a human, so you two can never truly have a happily ever after. Then there's the reason that demons truly do not know how to love, despite what he may proclaim. The list goes on and on.
Nobody has a happily ever after. It's called
The point
life.
is, if you give me the boys, I will promise you eternal happiness.
I highly doubt that, Diana.
Eternal happiness?
Right, sure, I totally believe you.
That's right. I have the power to give you anything you desire. Power, men, women, money, fame. Name it, and it's yours. A demon never goes back on their word, and I have the power to obtain anything you wish. Our deal is our contract.
I could only stare in shock. This was a dream. It had to be. However, Diana smiled an almost genuine smile at me, shaking me to the reality of the situation. She would never smile like that.
Don't you wish to be free of your destiny? Your father constantly berating you to become the next CEO of your grandfather's company.
How did you...
I was almost floored in surprise. How did Diana know all of this? She was a succubus, yes, but how could she know anything? Wow. How could she know anything beyond sexual desire?
Wow, Laundry.
She wasn't Danian. Diana chuckled and leaned back against her arms.
Just because I play with hearts and sex doesn't mean I don't know my way around the human mind. You happen to be an open book of information, but I digress. I can give you your freedom with ease. It'll be like you were always meant to have it. All I ask is that you hand over the boys. What do you say?
Was I seriously being given this choice? The man I love for anything I wanted? A demon like Diana was powerful enough, yes. But did I even want to consider giving up the man I loved? No.
No.
He must have been crazier than I thought. I glared.
Absolutely not.
Diana sighed and stood up onto the railing. What I wasn't expecting was her lifting me into the air. I tried to scream, but my voice suddenly became locked in silence. What was Diana doing? Diana made me float over to her, and she smirked as we touched noses.
Well, if I can't return home with the boys, I might as well return home with the power to fight back.
Diana finally leaned in and kissed me. I shut my eyes, feeling the need to bite her lips, but finding no muscles in my space listening to my mental commands. What did she do to me? I didn't want to enjoy it, but every single nerve in my body was flaring in excitement and pleasure as she kissed me. I felt my energy drain slowly, but forcefully from my body. Was she using her magic to force energy out of my body? It seemed like forever, but finally Diana pulled back from the kiss with a smile and a lick of her lips. She lowered me back onto the patio and chuckled. For some reason, even though nothing seemed to have changed, she looked stronger, powerful. It was almost like looking at a new Diana. Diana then stepped off of the railing, making me catch my breath in my throat. She took another step away from me. She looked to be simply walking on the night air. Diana smiled at my smirks and surprise.
May you never regret your choice, human. If you do, I'll happily come and take it away.
With a flick of her hair, Diana turned and walked into the night, fading into the darkness like a shadow. I watched her fade away before looking back to the man in my bed. Did I make the right choice?
You can't see me, but I'm like doing an interpretive dance of this.
My heart gave a gentle thump, giving me my answer. I'm alive.
I did, and I will never regret it for as long as I live.
I walked back inside and gently crawled back into bed with the embrace of the safest arms I knew, and I snuggled close into the warmth before closing my eyes. I was happy. The rest of the story can be almost passed over. With Diana gone, my life returned to normal with school and my friends not remembering what had happened. It was as if magic never even appeared in my world. One thing was for certain, though. Erik loved me. And I loved him just as much. We had promised our lives to each other, and nothing was going to take that away from us, not even time itself. Our love was so powerful, it practically overwhelmed me with joy every time I found him holding me close every morning. To think a demon was in love with a human like me, it was unthinkable, unbelievable. It was practically impossible, but it was true. The other boys decided to leave their own accord because they're idiots. They knew that my future would only... I hate this part. They knew that my future would only need Erik at my side. It's not like I need family or friends or other support networks, so they each decided to start their own lives in the human world. Erik understood perfectly and vowed to serve me well, wishing his brothers the best. Besides, Erik had someone new to care for now. His brothers didn't need to worry about him now that he was caring for me. I felt bad as well for being closer to Erik than the others, but they reassured me that I was okay, and that they would remain nearby should I ever need them. I was happy for that. After all, you can't really go to laser tag without a team.
Famous words to live by.
They made me promise, however, that I would love Erik for as long as we lived. That promise was instantly given. But what of my future? Well, it's kind of made for me. Before I graduated, James decided to step into the light of the Aaron's Toys Company. With the help of his demon powers and leadership charisma, he managed to influence not only the board, but my father as well, and letting him run for CEO. It just happened out of nowhere. I was beyond shocked. How James even managed to do all that was beyond me, but when the vote was called, James had taken over the company I was destined to have. He vowed to respect the wishes of the late CEO, and helped the company become an even grander company. For a demon, it was simple to make a company grand. My grandfather would have been so proud as he helped James help it shine. With the CEO position filled, my father had no choice but let me decide my own future, which made me happy beyond compare. No longer would I have the future scaring me in a corner. I would choose my life on my own. That being said, I was still scared of where the future was going to take me. What did I want to do? Did I want to help James build the company? Did I want to venture off on my own? Erik reassured me that he would support me and help me through whatever I decided to do. I was grateful and would never forget that promise. I was happy, and nothing could shake me down from that happiness. One evening, a good couple of years after the boys and I had met, I had a moment to myself, so I wandered my house and took in all that had happened, as if it was all a dream. The demons, the devils, the magic, it was all surreal to believe. It almost frightened me to think that it could have all been a dream. But then the warm feeling in my heart reminded me that it was all real. The demons, the magic, the love I had, all real. I smiled as I held my hands to my chest, relishing in the feelings dancing within my soul. I let out a happy sigh before looking up and seeing where I had wandered to. "We're going to the gazebo!" I was standing at the entrance to the backyard, and the door was slightly ajar. I peeked out to see Erik standing out by the gazebo, looking up at the moon in the sky. I slowly opened the door and exited the house. Oh, we've never seen this scene at night. Oh, that's actually nice. I slowly opened the door and exited the house, walking towards the man who held my heart. Hearing the grass beneath my feet, Erik turned his head and smiled at me.
Good evening, princess.
I smiled and blushed a bit, moving to stand at Erik's side.
What are you doing out here?
I'm merely making friends with the moon, my love.
I blushed deeper. Hearing him call me his love made my heart skip a beat. Erik chuckled, most likely being able to see the blush through the darkness of the night.
I wanted to see the night sky. The yard is one of the more perfect places to stargaze. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
I found myself staring up at the sky as well. The stars all glimmered in the dark blue, almost pitch-black sky. They all seemed to cast an entrancing spell on my eyes, not letting me look away. Not that I cared, anyway. Erik gently wrapped an arm around my waist, pulling me close to him without breaking my stare at the sky.
I don't deserve you, you know.
Oh, we know. I raised an eyebrow and looked to Erik, confused. What did he mean? Erik simply stared at the sky, holding me gently to him.
You're much too wonderful to be loving a demon such as myself. As cliché as it may be, the beauty fell in love with a beast. A beast with an insatiable hunger for lust.
But you're not a beast, Erik.
Erik looked down at me in slight surprise. I turned my body to him and gently held his cheek in my hand, feeling him nuzzle gently into it and cradle it with his own hand.
You're not a beast, nor will you ever be. You're Erik, and you're the man I want to love for the rest of my life. Demon or not, I love you.
Erik stared, looking lost at what to say to my words. It was all true, though. He had faults, sure, but who didn't? I enjoyed his company and adored every part of his personality. The mask he wore would slowly fade over time, even though it's already been, apparently, a couple years. Or maybe not. After all, his mask is part of who I fell in love with. Erik gently moved his head and kissed my palm, closing his eyes and absorbing what I had said. He gently opened his eyes, partially staring past my hand.
Sometimes I forget that you're human. You entrance me better than any demon could. You're truly unbelievable. Are you real, or am I dreaming?
Yes, Erik. I'm real. I'm right here.
Erik finally looked at me, a look of desperate need in his eyes.
You're not dreaming.
I gently guided Erik's face down with my hand and kissed him softly, reminding him of my touch and reaffirming my words. He stared at me as if his greatest wish had come true. I fought back a giggle at the sight. Erik gently pulled me to him, facing me to hug me to his chest. I nuzzled into Erik's chest, hearing his gentle heartbeat and memorizing its tempo.
You'll regret it. I promise you. You'll regret loving someone like me.
You underestimate me.
Erik chuckled softly, the sound of his laughter sending happy waves down my spine. Erik smiled down at me and kissed the top of my head. My focus, however, traveled down to my hand, which had become gently held by Erik's. His thumb grazed over my ring finger, where I could feel soft veins of energy tingle on my skin. I watched as around my ring finger, a small vine wrapped itself around and tied itself into a lovely ring. The ring held a beautiful purple flower with a red gem in the middle, glistening in the moonlight. I gasped before looking up to Erik, who slightly smirked down at me.
See? I'm taking advantage of you already.
Alright, the wedding's off!
Erik!
Erik gently moved his hand and cradled my cheek, replacing the smirk on his face with a tender smile that made my heart skip a beat.
I don't know what I did to deserve
Literally
you,
nothing!
but I swear to love you till the end of days and beyond. You make me feel so complete. I can no longer imagine what I would do in life without you. Let me stay with you. I love you so much.
I felt my heart going a million miles an hour. Was this truly happening? I mean, we've been in a relationship for 2 years. Is this really happening? Oh my god! Yes, it was. I felt it. I knew it. Out of pure happiness, I wrapped my arms around Erik and kissed him deeply. Erik stared before holding me to him and kissing deeply back, pouring all of his love to me into that kiss. I did the same for him, not wanting to wake up if this was indeed a dream. He felt light as a feather, not wanting to ever let go of this man in his arms. There were no words that could describe the emotions within me. I felt joy, happiness, ecstatic high all at once. Here I was, kissing the man I would be with forever, under the beautiful moonlight of the night. I had gained the heart of a demon, no, of a man I loved. I vowed to cherish him and love him for the remainder of my days and beyond. Could a demon love a human forever? I knew Erik would.
To infinity and beyond!
Woo! And that was my happily ever after. Erik's kiss, R. New password unlocked that we've had unlocked for a while.
Innocence, ignorance. Tell me, did you get your way? Sing your sweet melody. Bear the burden of the choices that you made. Go on, chase the morning with your heart. The worst is over now, you're moving on. 'Cause in the end, when your story's over, then you'll love the path you've walked on all along. Fly high, let your fingers touch the sky. Your journey's far from over. There's a million stories left to write. Be free to explore the life you seek, to embrace the love you carry. Know the choices that you made were right. Find regret inside. Don't let the pain take over your life. Soon you will see that you are free. Take the future in your hands now. It's in your sight. Go on, there's no better time to start. Your path is clearer now, urging you on. Don't be afraid, all the fear inside will fade. The trials that you face will make you strong. Fly high, feel the wind blow as you fly. Your journey's not yet over. There's 100 battles left to fight. Be free to be who you want to be. Love, you have just one life only. Know the choices that you make are right. Let your fingers touch the sky. Your journey's far from over. There's a million stories left to write. Be free to explore the life you seek, to embrace the love you carry. Know the choices that you made were right.
Well, that's over.
Okay, so final thoughts. I feel like we don't see enough depth in him, so he feels too much just like a caricature of a flirty guy rather than like a dynamic person.
It was like a reveal that didn't really pay off in the end.
Yeah.
And I feel sad that the times when I liked him most was when he was not speaking to us and he was being a sassafras, like with Diana. Like, I was really pumped during that scene, you know? I was really pumped. He was saying all these sassy things, he was saying all these snarky comebacks, but he doesn't act like that with us. He's just like, oh, princess.
I would have liked to see more from him. I wanted to like Erik by the end, but I feel like they just didn't give us enough.
I felt really bored with him by the end. I was really expecting a bigger payoff than that, and like I said before, I was disappointed because we know they can do well. We know that that Michaela is a good writer because of the Damien route. And yes, while the Sam route may not have been as intense, it was still a good route. It was still well written.
It was still very, very enjoyable.
Erik, I really didn't find enjoyable unless I was constantly ragging on him.
Yeah, Erik and I'm surprised because usually I like the flirty characters. Like in Amnesia, Iki is my favorite. I love him. But Erik just felt too much like a flat stereotype. It's a shame because I liked him a lot in the drama CD. And I feel like his character is a little more developed in how they write him at this current point in time compared to how they wrote him when the game was first in production. So hopefully, when Seduce Me 2 comes out, Erik will have a little more depth and maybe we'll get some more payoff out of him.
It doesn't feel real to me. It just feels like, yeah, I know his whole thing is that like, oh, I have to constantly serve the women, but it feels like he's still serving us by the end because he doesn't feel real. He's never upset with us.
Like we
never
know
frustrated.
we know like his feelings for us are real. It feels like what he says to us, while we know his feelings are real, it feels like he's just saying what he feels he should be saying.
Yeah, which would be an interesting thing to explore if there had been more time and if it had come up earlier. It feels like it gets cut off too early to me.
Yeah. By the point where we're like, okay, yeah, we'll marry you, we should know who he is.
The only moments where I really feel like I get a glimpse of the real him is when he's talking to other people and he's frustrated or making snarky comments. But to us, he's just, he's always just constantly lavishing praise. Oh, I don't deserve you. Oh, all this stuff. And it's like, you're not treating us like a real person. You're not acting like a real person.
Yeah, exactly.
It just feels like he just puts us on this pedestal. And he's just constantly in roleplay. That's really what it is.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. He's constantly in roleplay. That's exactly it.
And I wanted him to break out of that and have that moment where we'd be like, dude, like, put the script aside. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk like normal people. I mean, I know you're an incubus, but, you can be a normal person.
Yeah. He's always in roleplay. That's an excellent way to put it.
I'm like, because I was trying to think about what is his problem today? Why am I having so much trouble with this? That's really it. He's always in roleplay. He never steps out of his role. And by the end of the story, he should have done that.
So those are our thoughts.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking around through that rant. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.